This is CBC Here and Now.
In every election, as Canadians, we get to make an important choice about the future of our country.
Justin Trudeau thinks that there is one set of laws for him and his powerful friends, and one set of laws for every other hard-working Canadians like you.
Who will run Canada? Another federal election campaign kicks off, and tonight we'll take a closer look at what's shaping up to be the tightest race of the campaign in this province, the riding of St. John's East.
I think this election is about Canadians' choice for the future.
Who do they want to send to Ottawa?
People want a solid representative in Ottawa to be a strong voice for them.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain. Well, we are all going to the polls in 40 days on October the 21st to elect a new federal government.
We've all got a choice to make. Keep moving forward and build on the progress we've made, or go back to the politics of the Harper years.
The Prime Minister went to Rideau Hall this morning to ask the Governor-General to dissolve Parliament, and Justin Trudeau's Liberals now looking for a second term.
Over the next 5 weeks or so, we're going to be outlining our vision for the country.
For the Conservatives, it is a bid to win back power. Leader Andrew Scheer kicks off his campaign on the attack. He started campaigning for his Conservative Party even before the call was made. Many parties did. It's his first campaign as leader.
It's clear Justin Trudeau isn't who he pretended to be. And Andrew Scheer and the Conservatives are not the answer.
It's also Jagmeet Singh's first campaign as leader of the New Democrats, and he kicked things off in London, Ontario, taking aim at the frontrunners, the Liberals and the Conservatives.
We are going to stand firm. This election is about telling the truth to Canadians about how serious the climate emergency really is. And we do that in order not to create fear. We do that in order to give everyone hope.
Now, this is not Elizabeth May's first campaign. She was in Victoria at a rally with a number of local candidates. May launched her campaign with an attack on what she says is the Trudeau government's environmental hypocrisy. Well, there are already signs, literally here at home, that an election is underway. Signs are up for Jack Harris at the NDP headquarters in St. John's East. Now, insiders consider this a battleground riding. Harris is trying to get his old job back. He lost last time to Liberal Nick Whalen, who has served as the MP for the last 4 years, and he's running again for the Liberals. The Conservative candidate, that's Jody Wall, currently the mayor of Pooch Cove. And all three candidates came to our studio late this afternoon.
We have a future proposed by our party, which is one where we're going to use our prosperity from our natural resources industry, pursued sustainably, in order to transition our economy to a clean one.
Prime Minister, the last time people had a lot of expectations about doing things differently. I think a lot of people are disappointed with Mr. Trudeau and some of the things that he did and some of the things that he didn't do. And we've seen the last few months concerns about SNC-Lavalin and whose side is the government really on.
We had a municipalities meeting last week with respect to wastewater. The new federal government wastewater regulations are being coming down to municipalities. These are something that the municipalities right now in this shape and form we cannot handle. We're going to need a lot of help from Ottawa.
So we're going to bring you that full discussion with the candidates in St. John's East in about 25 minutes. And those candidates have to convince voters to cast their ballots for them. That's what the game of the election's all about. Well, here's what some voters told us they want to hear from politicians during this campaign.
Good. It's exciting. It kind of adds a nice little buzz around the country and the province. So, yeah, it's fun.
I think this was coming. I was expecting this, so it doesn't really shock me that this election is coming, because I think for months we've it's been dropping for quite some time, so I'm not really shocked by that. Do I want more options? Yes.
I don't have much faith in our last election. We should have had the greatest bag of all. We had, all Liberal candidates in a Liberal government, and what have we had to show for it in the last number of years? For me, I look forward to one of them coming out the door and having a little talk about some surf clams. Yeah. So at any rate, what the big issue is, either side is going to be mitigation for Muskrat Falls.
I think Muskrat Falls has to be brought into this somehow. Our candidates don't seem to be saying much. I don't hear much from anybody about Muskrat Falls, only on the local news, and that's not much. It's a very constricted issue. but it's a very important issue. It affects everybody. Everyone lives in this province is going to be affected. Every bit of stuff that's coming in here is affected. Every bit of stuff going out is affected. Really, we have so much power that we don't need. What are we going to do with it? It's astounding what they've done.
Temperatures haven't really moved much over the last couple of days, still sitting in those teens across the board. 14 degrees in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Nain sitting at 13 degrees today as well. So similar temperatures now. It was a little bit of a wet day and will continue to be a wet evening as we head through the overnight. We can see those showers making their way, not quite for the metro area yet. They are though on the way as we head through the night tonight. I'll tell you how much rain is on the way, how long it's going to stick around, and what to expect as we head towards the weekend coming up.
All right, well, let's check in with our Jeremy Eaton, who is hanging out at the Iceberg Alley tent, that musical festival set to take the stage in just a little bit. So Jeremy, just who's on tonight? Who's playing?
Well, there's a number of acts playing, but we're standing here. You can see that there's people starting to file in. There's a band. The show is going to open up tonight with a local band called the Novaks, and they've been around for a long, long time. They should draw a bit of a crowd. But what I want to draw your attention to is how cool this venue is. This has to be one of the most unique concert venues, not only in Newfoundland and Labrador, but probably all of Canada, if not North America. You got beautiful tent, you got the nice plywood floor, you got stadium seating sections. It's like camping, but it's glamorous. It's like a glamping scene, but it's a great concert festival. Now the doors just open at 6. The Novak should be going on soon, but we're going to speak to the man who started all of this, John Steele, and hear a little bit about the history of where the tent came from and how hard it is to book acts for 11 days during this concert festival. Anthony?
All right, it's Jeremy Eaton. We'll be checking in with Jeremy throughout Here and Now tonight. Another tough assignment for Jeremy. In other news, serious story. A St. John's woman says that she is going to go blind unless a cap on her medication is lifted. Krista Stevens relies on regular eye injections to save her sight, but now she's no longer eligible for coverage under the province's prescription drug program. And doctors say she isn't alone. Here Now's Meg Roberts with more.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Your testing today looks great.
Krista Stevens is no longer scared when the doctor uses a needle to inject medication into her eye. What scares her is she's going to go blind. That's unless the government eliminates a cap on eye injections needed to treat her macular edema, which developed as a result of her diabetes.
The thought of not being able to see is scary. You know, I feel like I'm young and I'm not ready to go blind.
Under the province's drug program, she's only allowed 9 vials in her lifetime, and she's already used way more than that.
It's so frustrating knowing that the medication is there, it 100% works, it's fantastic, but I can't have it because government says, no, we're not going to cover that here.
The brand name drug she needs costs about $1,800 a shot. The generic brand, although much cheaper, didn't work for her. Her ophthalmologist has enrolled her in a compassion program where the drug company pays. He says he has more than 100 patients who rely on that program because they've all exceeded the cap, and the program could end at any time.
I had a patient once that said I had the choice of eating or having my medication. And, you know, it's a bit heartbreaking, you know, because as a physician, you want to be able to help all the patients that come through the door. But unfortunately, this is handcuffing us and preventing us from being able to treat the patients as they should be treated.
The physician says Newfoundland and Labrador is the only province that has a cap on in vitro injections. The Minister of Health and Community Services was not available for an interview. However, in a statement sent to CBC News, the department says they follow an evidence-based review completed by the Canadian Expert Drug Advisory Committee, and further said it's our responsibility to ensure that we spend our public funds where scientific evidence supports significant health outcomes. But both the Canadian Retina Society and the Canadian Ophthalmological Society disagree with that review. In a letter that was sent to the minister, the societies say that the current coverage falls short of what is needed to maintain vision and that the current policy is putting people at risk. People like Krista Stevens.
People are going to continue to go blind if they don't change something, and it's like nobody cares.
Meg Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
A criminal defense lawyer in St. John's has been named as the first director of the Newfoundland and Labrador Serious Incident Response Team. Mike King is going to head up CERT, or NL CERT to be precise, and that office is going to investigate police shootings as well as incidents or allegations of sexual assault or obstruction of justice. Here now's Mark Quinn reports.
Incidents like this, the fatal police shooting of Don Dumphy, led to the creation of this province's own Serious Incident Response Team. For many years, outside agencies such as Nova Scotia's CERT or the Ontario Provincial Police have been called in to help with incidents involving police here. But the province's Justice Minister says that couldn't continue.
We've had experiences recently where we have approached outside agencies to conduct investigations and oversight, and we've been told that they did not have the capacity, resources, or time to assist us.
Right now, there are 10 active cases of outside agencies investigating serious incidents involving police in Newfoundland and Labrador. NL CERT's new director says his first priority is to ensure the public has faith in the justice system.
I feel that public confidence in policing is of the utmost importance and is very important to the administration of justice. And I will take that very seriously.
Establishment of this province's CERT is one of the recommendations of the 2016 inquiry into the fatal police shooting of Don Dumphy. And Parsons has advocated for CERT since he was a member of the opposition. The RCMP says it welcomes the new organization.
It means public confidence. When the police get involved in issues, and we do by the very nature of our work, there has to be a mechanism in place to inspire public confidence and tell the full story. And the CERT is that mechanism.
King has been appointed for a 5-year term that begins later this month. NL CERT's annual budget is $500,000. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Today marks 18 years since the 9/11 attacks in the United States. That's 18 years since more than 200 stranded passengers arrived at Smallwood Academy in Gambo.
You could go get prescriptions refilled. If you needed clothes, they took you. I, at one point, said, I've always loved Newfoundland dogs. The next day, there was a Newfoundland dog.
Allison Bruston and her husband were stranded in Gambo for several days back in 2001. Well, the Chicago couple returned to town for today's community commemoration at the school, and they didn't come empty-handed. The couple announced $10,000 in scholarships for Smallwood Academy graduates, as well as money to build a monument at the town hall. The staff plan to make today's 9/11 ceremony an annual event. Across North America, survivors of the 9/11 attacks, as well as the families of the victims, gathered to remember their loved ones.
Bernard Mascarenas,
Debbie L. Williams,
Vladimir Tomasevic, David Michael Barkway,
Stuart Sue Jin Lee,
Christine Egan,
Ralph Gerhardt,
Chantal Vincelli,
Garnet Ace Bailey, Cynthia Marie Lease Conley,
Joseph Kent Collison.
Now, Toronto-born Joseph Collison worked in the mailroom of a securities firm, and he died in the collapse of the World Trade Towers. Collison was among 26 Canadians who were killed on the day in those attacks. And the sentiment at many of today's ceremonies focused on grief, loss, and anger. And from the President of the United States, defiance. For many in the U.S., the day has become one for volunteerism, with many people assisting food banks, schools, and parks.
If there's a problem with those guy wires right there, do you want to send a person up to do expensive, maybe dangerous tests? Or do you want to use Rudy, a robot made right here? Meet Rudy, coming up on Here and Now.
Welcome back. A little cool today, but not a bad day.
No,
really.
No, not at all. Here in the metro area.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we didn't see that rain yet, but it was raining pretty much everywhere else. Yeah, across the island. But yeah, not too bad. Temperatures a little bit below seasonal. We'll take a look at what we saw as our daytime highs across the board. 15 degrees generally anywhere really. From 10 to the hotspot was Deer Lake at 17 degrees. And then we've got those temperatures in the teens up through Labrador as well. Cartwright sitting at 13 degrees as your afternoon high. Those temperatures only a degree cooler for you as we speak, and sitting anywhere from 11 to 14 degrees for the island. Port aux Basques a little cooler at 9 degrees right now. Now taking a look at the satellite and radar, you can see that cloud cover moved in with those showers through the afternoon today, starting to make their way towards the Avalon, starting to creep a little bit further north. It hasn't quite reached the metro area, but will do so as we head through the next couple of, at least probably the next hour or so. And we'll see those showers continue to move through, heavy at times as well as we head towards the early morning hours. The tip of the northern peninsula, you're going to stay out of most of the rain, just the chance of some showers for you, and southeastern Labrador as well. Otherwise, pretty nice evening, maybe some cloud cover for Lab West, and potential for a few showers as well. Here's your temperatures. 10 degrees for St. John's overnight tonight. Otherwise, we're dipping into those single digits. 9 for Corner Brook, 8 for St. Anthony. Those winds will generally be out of the southeast, around 30 kilometers per hour, and then single digit lows again. A cool evening or night for Lab City at 1 degree. Those northwesterlies pretty light, 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. So how much rain is on the way? Well, as we head into Thursday afternoon, or at least tomorrow afternoon, we should see anywhere from 20 to 30 millimeters of rainfall, 10 along the west coast, 10 to 20. And then it looks like most of the rain, if it does develop, will be for the southeastern portion of the Avalon. And again, the northern peninsula, you're going to stay generally out of it, just a trace to maybe 10 millimeters of rain. That rain will move out. Then looking at the chance of some showers and some drizzle through the afternoon, generally going to stay gray though. And then southeastern Labrador will see those showers as well, and then some clearing as we head towards the early morning hours. So overall, not a bad day for the Big Land. Those temperatures though, pretty similar to what we're seeing today across the board. 14 to 16 degrees, Clarenville, you're looking at similar temperatures. Those winds gusty around 40 kilometers per hour. A little cooler towards central, Grand Falls, Windsor, 10 degrees, Twillingate, same thing. And then the west coast, you're looking at temperatures 12 degrees for Corner Brook. Sunshine peeking out in the evening or at least late afternoon for Stephenville, potentially Port aux Basques as well as Burgeo. And then again for St. Anthony, you'll see those skies clear as well. Winds 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. Cartwright 10 degrees, and then heading towards Happy Valley Goose Bay, sunshine, and 14. Lab City going to stay cool at 8, but you're looking at some cloudy skies through the day and maybe a few peaks of sun. So once we get this rain out of the way, the weekend doesn't look too bad, but I'll have all those details coming up.
All right, let's go back to Jeremy Eaton now, who, as you saw earlier and see, is at the Iceberg Alley tent down by Kitty Vitty Lake. So Jeremy, race cars earlier in the week, really cute kids at a library last night. Tonight, you're at Iceberg. How do you get all these hard assignments?
I don't know. I guess our bosses really, really like me. Maybe a little bit more than you. I doubt it, though.
I got that, yeah.
But anyway, so I've got the... sorry, Anthony. So I got the plum assignment to come down here. It's the third time that this event has happened, and it's a very unique event, and we have a very special opportunity because we get to speak to the man behind the music. This is John Steele. Thanks for joining us, John.
Thanks for coming down, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
So, John, third year, anything different this year at the Iceberg Alley?
Well, the crowds are getting bigger, so that's always good. You know, we got some new sponsors in, some new experience areas and stuff, so it's continuing to grow. We're really pleased.
So we're standing on a nice plywood floor. Teddy, can we get a shot of that? I know it's hard because it's dark down here. We're standing on a nice plywood floor underneath a really nice tent. John, where did the idea come from to create a festival like this?
The idea came from, you know, I always wanted to do a festival, but living in Newfoundland, you know, you got to be very cognizant of the weather, obviously. So I was in London, England one time in Hyde Park, and I went to a Patti Smith concert, and it was taking place underneath a tent. And I thought this would be a great idea. So I came back with the idea, and I mentioned it to Sean Basha, and then Sean put the meat on the bone, right? Because Sean, you know, everything is possible and cost is irrelevant. So it all came together.
So it's easy to say it when he's not signing the checks, eh?
Well, it makes it easier, yeah.
So it's an 11-day festival. There's a large number of acts. I'll tell our audience more about that later on in the show. How hard is it, John, to line up like 3 bands a night for 11 nights in a row?
You got to start early on it, and there are challenges to it because you got logistics, travel logistics, obviously. You want what's going to sell in the market. You have, can you agree to a price? You know, all these things got to come together, right? And you want to program a festival that people are really going to like, but you also want to expand the boundaries because you have 11 nights. You can't be hitting the same genre every night. So we attempt to do that, to have as much appeal to a wide range as possible of people.
So there's a large number of local acts that will be playing in this large number of acts that have come for way. Any night that you're looking forward to in particular?
Well, you know, it's always great seeing local acts like Mick Davis and Chris LeDrew and Dabnett Doyle, and Alan Doyle's fantastic, obviously. But I'm a massive Waterboys fan, so that's my guilty pleasure is having them here this year.
So one of the other interesting things that you're telling me about this is a lot of the stuff and a lot of the talent that puts all of this stuff together is local. How happy are you that you can hire local people to put off this event and create what you have here?
It's fantastic, you know, and for a place this size that we have, you know, we have a lot of people with a unique skill set that's world class, you know, so you can just get them, bring them in, and it's great. Everyone really works hard, and we have a lot of fun doing it, and, you know, we try to improve every year.
So John, we got about 30 seconds left. It's the 3rd year. Where do you go from here? How do you make this bigger and better? What do you do next year?
We got to, afterwards, after 11 days, we got to sit down and figure out what we did right, what we did wrong, and eventually I'd like to grow it to multiple venues in the city and make it a citywide thing. But that's going to be a few years out yet.
So people can get used to seeing Iceberg Alley being around for a while.
I hope so.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, John.
Thanks for coming
Have a good one, man. So that's John Steele talking about where this event came from. Hopefully we're going to hear a little bit of the Novaks when they take the stage in about 10 minutes. So we're putting live from the Iceberg Alley Performance Tent. I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
Today is the start of a 40-day federal election campaign.
That's why we choose Forward. Merci tout le monde.
Prime Minister made it so this morning when he visited the Governor General to get Parliament dissolved. The parties now have 5 weeks to get their messages out to voters. Canadians will go to the polls on October the 21st. The public opinion polls suggest the Liberals and the Conservatives are running neck and neck, with the NDP and the Greens fighting for third place.
You're a recent grad or a new Canadian. Maybe you're raising your kids or living out your golden years in retirement. Whoever you are, you deserve a real plan for your future. We've done a lot together these past 4 years, but the truth is, we're just getting started.
Well, Conservative leader Andrew Scheer didn't waste any time launching his campaign. Even before Trudeau's visit to Rideau Hall, Scheer attacked the Liberal leader's ethics and later Justin Trudeau's fiscal record.
The question this election is very clear. Who can you trust to help you and your family to get ahead? And the answer is certainly not Justin Trudeau, who will only raise your taxes and take more money from your pockets. He doesn't know what it's like to raise a family facing difficult conditions.
Now, on his first campaign stop in Quebec, Scheer promised to let families keep more of their money, and he said he'd take steps to lower the cost of living. Earlier in Ottawa, Scheer said Justin Trudeau has lost the moral authority to govern in the wake of the SNC-Lavalin affair. This is Scheer's 6th federal election, but his first as Conservative Party leader. Well, in this province, the riding of St. John's East is going to get a lot of attention.
It feels awesome. I mean, I'm so fuddle-duddle happy I could fuddle-duddle cry.
The last time, you might recall, Liberal MP Nick Whalen pulled off a stunning victory, defeating longtime NDP MP Jack Harris. Mr. Harris wants his old job back and is running again. And Conservative candidate Jody Wall, the mayor of Pooch Cove, well, he's in this race to spoil the rematch, and all three candidates join me in the studio. Gentlemen, welcome.
Good morning.
All right, you are the incumbent, so let's start with you. What is this election all about?
I think this election is about Canadians' choice for the future. We have a future proposed by our party, which is one where we're going to use our prosperity from our natural resources industry, pursued sustainably, in order to transition our economy to a clean one.
Mr. Wall?
Well, I feel this election, is clearly about good, solid representation. People want a solid representative in Ottawa to be a strong voice for them as we move forward. These are exciting times. These are going to be very important times as we move forward in the history of our country.
And Jack Harris, election 2019, what do you think is important about it?
Well, on the national scene, of course, we had a new Prime Minister the last time. People had a lot of expectations about doing things differently. I think a lot of people are disappointed with Mr. Trudeau and some of the things that he did and some of the things that he didn't do. And we've seen the last few months concerns about SNC-Lavalin, whose side is the government really on. Our country spends, we're on the low end of spending on education, healthcare, and other services amongst OECD countries. Our party has a strong platform to change that with pocketbook issues, affordability issues, dealing with the question of healthcare, a drug plan that everybody can take advantage of, and fixing some of the inequality issues in Canada.
Right, Mr. Trudeau may have had his problems, but Mr. Singh has also had his. Do people in your riding know who your leader is?
Well, you know, we have a very strong platform that I'm delighted to run on. We have to look at the last election. Where was Mr. Trudeau at the beginning? Anything can happen in an election. So once the election is called, as of today, we've got 40 days where Mr. Singh will have equal time to tell the story of our party and our platform, and we will see what happens. But in St. John's East, you know, I agree with Jody Wall. What do we want? What I'm hearing from people is, who do they want to send to Ottawa to represent them? And I believe that they do want strong representation, and they don't want to have 7 Liberals.
We're going to get to the other gentleman involved in this. So in terms of the local issues in St. John's East, what do you think matters most to voters that you can actually try to jump on before we get to Election Day? Mr. Whalen?
It's pretty clear that people are worried about household affordability and making sure that they're able to make ends meet. I'm sure Mr. Wall would agree. We've knocked thousands of doors, and I would say that's the #1 issue. You move that down, support for seniors. and how we're going to ensure that our seniors, which our boomer generation is moving into retirement, how they're properly taken care for. And I would say with that, the demographic crisis that comes along with that in our province where we don't have the population growth we need, and how are we going to ensure that we have a tax base that allows us to enjoy the standard of living to which we've become accustomed.
Jody Wall, Mayor of Pouch Cove, mayors tend to have their ears to the ground on all kinds of issues. Is it your sense that voters will actually be attracted to Mr. Scheer's message of, staying within our means?
I fully agree on that. And in being mayor for the past 6 years, having boots on the ground, speaking with the residents one-on-one, and not only in my town of Pouch Cove, but in all the municipalities on Northeast Avalon, residents have a lot of concerns. What I'm hearing, and we had a municipalities meeting last week with respect to wastewater. The new federal government wastewater regulations are being coming down to municipalities. These are something that the municipalities right now in this shape and form we cannot handle. We're going to need a lot of help from Ottawa, and we do recognize that there is a need to handle our wastewater.
To stop dumping sewage in the ocean.
Exactly. But we have to look at, and again, I can speak for my town, I can speak for Bell Island, when it comes to clean drinking water. That was when you have to look at and weigh out what you have to do in your own municipality.
Right.
With the limited funds that you have to make a decision. And so right now, we did take care of our clean drinking water, and now we're moving on to wastewater. It's something that people are talking about. It's garnering more support and interest since the municipalities meeting last week, and it's something that people are watching.
It's an interesting riding because you go from CBS through Paradise, all through the big chunk of St. John's, north of Kenmount Road, up through right to Cape St. Francis. There are different issues. So that's a big concern for the small municipalities. What about the more urban parts of the riding? What do people really care about in this election?
But it's not just the small municipalities. The city of St. John's are concerned about that as well. The town of Torbay, Bell Island, when it comes to wastewater.
But St. John's and Paradise, they have a plan. They've got things going compared to the other municipalities. Well, let me get to Mr. Harris, though. The urban issues.
Well, I'd like to address that because that was a meeting held last Friday, on the eve of the election after 4 years of Liberal government, and they finally had to confront the MPs to say, what's going on here? Why are we getting to this crisis instead of having something done about it with 7 MPs from Ottawa? This has been going on for 10 or 12 years. This plan has been put in place for some time. So it is a crisis that has to be dealt with, and we would have been a lot happier if
you can respond to that.
Absolutely. So these regulations were brought in when Mr. Harris was last in office. And during that final year, $0 from the infrastructure money available for wastewater was spent in Newfoundland and Labrador. We were able to get that money rolled out and address the very priorities that Mr. Wald mentioned. First, we did clean drinking water. Obviously, we want to worry about sewage, but it's really important to make sure we hit the more important things first, and that included making sure, like in towns like Pouch Cove, they got their clean drinking water, and we helped there, and we've helped on Bell Island and other projects. But it is a major concern because after 4 years where no money was spent on this problem, it really takes a long time to meet the regulations, the 2020, 2030, and 2040 thresholds. But we're going to work to make sure that we find a path forward. Municipalities, all 7 of your MPs are keen to make sure that this happens in a way that doesn't put mayors in jail, but
because they're not in compliance with the law.
Because they have to become in compliance. They can't. We have to move away from enforcement towards compliance, but we're 4 years behind because of the 2011 to 2015 period when nothing happened.
Well, let me ask you each of this. When you go door to door and you're talking to people in St. John's East, is it local issues like water that you're selling, or are you trying to explain why your leader would make the best prime minister? What do people expect? Do they really want to talk about wastewater, or do they want to talk about whether Jagmeet Singh or Andrew Scheer or Justin Trudeau are the best to lead the country? Mr. Harris?
Well, I've been going to the door for some time now and knocking on doors all the time with hearing what people have to say. They're raising these issues. You ask them what the issues are. They are concerned about who the prime minister is, but they're also concerned about representation. And what I'm hearing from people is that they're very happy to have me running. They're glad that I'm running in the campaign. They would, and I'm getting a lot of support for that very issue of representation.
Right.
The issue of what the affordability issues come out. They're concerned about healthcare. They're concerned about access to drugs. They're concerned about what's going to happen to our young people.
Okay,
and
Jody,
where they go from here.
Jody Wall, you're probably the least known, with all due respect, of the 3 candidates running. What are you going to do to get noticed? Do you sell yourself or Andrew Scheer?
No, I'm doing what I'm told to do. I'm knocking on doors. I'm introducing myself. I'm getting my face out there. I'm speaking with the constituents. What I'm hearing is I let them start the conversation. I introduce myself and they bring forward their concerns. 90% of the concerns I'm hearing are local issues and what they want to see change on a local level. Very, very much so. You know, we're all in tune with what's going on throughout the country. But you know, it's quite important that people realize that their local issues are heard and dealt with.
All right, in your case, of course, some questions have been raised about Mr. Trudeau with transparency, some ethical lapses. Are people talking about those things? Or are they talking to you about infrastructure and water?
They're talking to me about basically everything. Those issues that you raised come up, as well as household affordability would be a big one as well, and also the environment. But I would say, by and large, people look at what we've done for the past 4 years. They realize that we've never had a better friend in Ottawa than Justin Trudeau. We've spent more money in this province on all of our needs, and we've been a good partner, be it with the town of Pooch Cove, the city of St. John's, the province, or anyone. So we've come to the table to be conciliatory, to work with other decision makers to make sure that projects get off the ground. And we want to continue to do that, at the same time transitioning our economy to a cleaner one, making sure we deal with things like wastewater.
Okay, it's day one of the election campaign. Gentlemen, good luck, and thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Now, these candidates will be taking part in a couple of public debates during the next campaign, the next 40 days, and one of them is hosted by the St. John's Board of Trade, and that one is being held at the Bella Vista on September the 24th.
Very exciting. This is the real culmination of all our work.
How's this for a high-wire act? Meet Rudy. Rudy, a robot that can scale tall communications towers. We'll give you the bird's eye view of just how Rudy does that job. That's ahead. Welcome back to Here and Now. A local robotics company is putting their invention through a high-wire test run. Avero Robotics and Technology has designed a robot for a very specific and very important job. And last week, the team got their first chance to try Rudy out in the real world. Here and Now, Zach Gowdy was there.
And this is where I really hope it doesn't break.
Jesse McCaw is sending his baby out into the world and up onto its first real wire.
It's very exciting. This is the real culmination of all our work.
McCaw is the founder of Avero Robotics and Technology, and this wire-climbing briefcase is Rudy.
This is, I'd say, our first live field test with this unit on a tower. We've done a lot of testing in the lab, but this one here will prove it out there in the real world.
Bell Alliant agreed to give McCaw and his team access to a tower to take Rudy out for a test drive. McCaw used to work on towers like these, but a couple of years ago, he had an idea.
So I worked with a local engineering firm, and they were using this sensor here to inspect these guy wires on towers. And they had to use pulleys and ropes and climbers. And I looked at it and said, I think we could do this better, and I think there could be some sort of robotic solution out there. So we came up with the idea of Rudy, and today's the day we're putting up a tower.
Guy wires are critical infrastructure for all sorts of tall things: communications towers, ski lifts, flare stacks at industrial sites. Rudy tests the wires for breaks, corrosion, and other damage. It's a job normally done by a team of technicians, but it's time-consuming, costly, and a little dangerous.
Either you're doing a visual inspection where you have to either get cameras, a drone, or take the wire down, or you're doing what's called rope access inspection, where basically you would get a rope access team in, you would winch yourself up to the top, and through a pulley system, you would pull the MRT head up, and this can take long periods of time, and if you're working on things like flare stacks or anywhere where there's human danger, you have to shut the whole system down.
At an industrial site, a shutdown can cost millions of dollars.
So I might just go up slow just to make sure everything's working right and nothing crazy is happening.
Instead, Rudy scales the wire in minutes and does the test for you, all controlled by a single operator safely on the ground. It's a high wire act that inspired the robot's name. Rudolf Omenkowski was a circus performer and pioneer of tightrope walking. Papa Rudy trained Philip Petit, who performed the most famous tightrope walk in history between New York's Twin Towers. Avro Robotics and Technology is the latest local company to find a home at Memorial University's Genesis Center, a hub for inventors and entrepreneurs to grow their ideas. Products developed there include the Water Lily, a portable electric turbine, and the Skeezy, a gadget that turns cross-country skiing into a motorsport. The team at Avro hope Rudy can be the Genesis Center's next big thing.
It's been awesome. Everyone at the team are all innovators. It's been great to link up with Jesse, and Youngbin is here as well. He's one of our robotics team members. We're all young and hungry, and we're just looking to innovate and solve some problems out in the world.
Making it back down the wire in one piece, Rudy's first climb is declared a success. Macaw is now ready to watch his baby take its next steps into the marketplace.
It worked exactly as we had hoped it would. It's been a year and a half of work on this, so it's awesome to see it come to fruition.
Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
All right, well, let's check back in with our own live wire. Jeremy Eaton, who's down at the Iceberg Alley tent tonight. Obviously, things are getting going there. Jeremy, what are you up to?
Anthony, I apologize that I can't hear much. This is the Novaks. We're literally on the stage. We wanted to get our viewers as close to the action as possible. So this is a band called the Novaks, headed up by frontman Mick Davis, the pride and joy of the New West Valley in Lumsden. Mark Neary is a local bass player, and Elliot Diggs is leading away on the drums. So this is the start of the Iceberg Alley Festival. The Novaks are the first band to take the stage. And tonight another band named Monster Truck will play, and that'll be followed by the Glorious Suds. Now, I'm standing right in front of the fog machine, so we're literally as close as we possibly can get. And this festival has a lot of acts that are going to play. As you heard John say earlier, Alan Doyle is here. A band called Metric will be playing tomorrow night. Matt Mays, Our Lady Thieves. For an older audience, Loverboy will be coming. And there's also a lot of local acts. Jill Power will be playing. David Doyle will be playing. The Women of Rock will be playing. And that's just to name a few. But if we can pan back to the band for a real quick second. So people are starting to come in as this festival kicks off. And it's only going to get bigger and better, I guess, as the week comes along. But it's probably one of the more unique concert festivals and venues that you'll get to experience. And it's awfully loud in here, and I'm yelling, and I'm coughing because of the fog machine. So we're gonna get off the stage, we're gonna leave it to the Novaks, and we're gonna throw it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. For once, he actually has an excuse for not listening to a word I say. We'll send you an email of Jeremy's report if you write us in. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. All right, take a look at what's coming our way.
Yeah, we're going to just briefly go over tomorrow's forecast. There is some rain on the way overnight tonight, and we'll continue as we head through the day tomorrow. Your temperatures will be pretty similar, 16 degrees in St. John's, and then we've got those temperatures just reaching the double digits for parts of Central. Gander should reach a high near 10 degrees, and then Port aux Basques 13. Best chance of seeing that sunshine will be for the south coast and parts of the southwest coast as well, at 15 degrees for Stephenville. Up through Labrador, though, you're going to sit this one out rather with plenty of sunshine tomorrow. It looks like 14 degrees for Happy Valley Goose Bay, a little cooler for Lab City at 8 degrees, and a little bit more cloud cover for you as well. Now, as far as the rain goes, just one more time, show you we're looking at anywhere from 10 to 20 millimeters is a good bet. Upwards of 30 millimeters is possible through parts of Central and the Avalon as well as you head to tomorrow afternoon. And then we're going to see things eventually taper to showers and some drizzle through the day. And then some clearing will happen in behind that. Looks like a lovely afternoon or at least the evening into Friday. Things will really start to clear out. We should see a nice day once we get that potential for a few showers out of the way. Otherwise, up through Labrador, you're looking at a lovely day as well. And this is going to lead into what will be a great first half of the weekend as well before the next weather mover makes in for Sunday. So here's a look at your temperatures. A little cooler for St. John's, only reaching a high near 10 degrees. Otherwise, we should be sitting in the teens, but again, plenty of sunshine. 15 degrees for Happy Valley Goose Bay, Lab City sitting at 13, and Nain, your high is 14. Now, over the next couple of days, again, going to see a little bit of unsettled weather for your day tomorrow, and then eventually that sun will peak out, and it looks like it should stay for St. John's and eastern Newfoundland, 18 degrees by Sunday. So we are going to see a little bit of a warm up, those overnight lows looking at those double digits as well, before some rain moves in for Monday. That rain will move in a little sooner for you in central Newfoundland, likely Sunday, and then continuing into Monday as we see a little bit of a drop in those temperatures, but overall seasonal through the weekend. And then similar forecast for western Newfoundland, sunshine right up until Saturday, and then it looks like Sunday is when that rain will move in. For eastern Labrador, plenty of sunshine right through Saturday. Temperatures dip a little bit on Sunday and 12 degrees. Same thing for you on Monday. And then for western Labrador, 8 degrees tomorrow. You're going to see a little bit of a jump in those temperatures on Friday. Then that rain moves back in and those temperatures stay a little bit below seasonal. So let's look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo coming up.
Thanks, Ashley. Officials in the Bahamas say 2,500 people are either missing or not accounted for in the violent wake of Dorian's rampage. Now, some of those people may have been moved out of the region or into shelters. They're not quite sure. The impact of last week's storm has been simply devastating.
Like a river in there. The water was just gushing and just taking out everything. So we had nowhere to run. So we just was staying down in the lower bathroom, just praying to God.
Now, 50 people are known to have died, but officials warn the final death toll could be staggering. Also, thousands of people are homeless. Dorian toppled buildings and left entire villages underwater. Many scientists believe the rise in temperature and climate change were contributing factors to Dorian's strength. We'll stay with international news right now. Scotland's highest civil court has ruled that Boris Johnson didn't have the right to suspend the British Parliament.
The advice given by the government to Her Majesty the Queen to prorogue Parliament from 9th September to 14th October was unlawful, and that therefore the prorogation itself is unlawful.
Now, the Prime Minister's critics say the House of Commons should remain in session to allow members of Parliament to continue the debate over Brexit. The deadline for Britain to leave the European Union is scheduled for October the 31st. Now, according to Johnson, the government needs to focus on negotiations with the EU. An appeal against the Scottish ruling will be heard in London next week at Britain's Supreme Court.
We want to know where you're to. This great shot of a little bit of a rainbow and a reflection. Nancy Wheeler sent us this photo, and I'll tell you where this is taken when we come back.
Well, we're going to wind down here and now with really what I think is one of the greatest stories in Canada. Canadian tennis sensation Bianca Andreescu is back home today, still soaking in her U.S. Open win and the fame that comes with it.
I was not expecting any of this, but I can get used to it.
Since winning her first Grand Slam tournament on Saturday, the 19-year-old has appeared on multiple American talk shows and flown on a private jet.
Yeah, she's getting used to it. Now, she did tell reporters today that she's looking ahead to her next tournaments in Asia, aiming to end the year in the top 3 and hopefully representing Canada, I think that's a no-brainer, at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. Quite the sensation she is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic. What a story. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And then apparently it smashed all records. More people watched her than watched the Stanley Cup final. More people watched her than the Raptors. So you know when they choose the sports moment of the year?
That's going to be
Raptors? Raptors or her?
That's a good question.
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Enough about that.
I have another lovely weather photo to share. A beautiful rainbow there with a little bit of a reflection. And this photo was taken...
Where's that now?
Connellsville.
Connellsville.
Yes, a great shot there. Thank you so much to Nancy Wheeler for sending us that wonderful photo. We love seeing them, and they're getting these sunsets are getting later or earlier and earlier.
I know. I know. You didn't have to draw that to our attention.
I know. I'm sorry.
We'll come
to
that.
They're still beautiful.
Yep,
absolutely.
they are.
If you have any weather photos that you would like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Yeah, keep sending them because we love to get them. And yeah, I was just sort of thinking about the Raptors, which was an amazing story, of course, Canadian team winning the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That is a real tough one. A team sport, an individual sport.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm torn. What do you think? And also, she's from Mississauga.
Right.
Raptors in Toronto.
Toronto.
Let Ontario figure it out. Don't have to worry about that. It's not our problem.
That's right, yeah.
Hey, have a great night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right, good night.
That's it.